Thank you for humoring us while we chatted for a little bit here. Welcome to the May 2025 Seminole County Board of Adjustment meeting. For those of you in the audience who haven't been to one of our meetings before, please allow me to have a few minutes of your attention to share our procedures. As we go through each item, staff will introduce it for consideration. If this is something, a matter on which you would like to speak, please fill out one of the forms that's out in the lobby and give it to our clerk and just wait till your turn comes. The way we proceed is the applicant, after staff introduces it, the applicant has a chance to share their thoughts. Anyone who supports the applicant then can get up and speak. Then anyone in opposition can be heard. And if necessary, the applicant has a chance for rebuttal. Comments should be restricted to pertinent information that's on the agenda item. We don't get into neighborhood disagreements or homeowners disputes or any of that kind of stuff. If you're an individual, but not the applicant, you'll have 3 minutes to share your thoughts. If you represent an organization, you'll have 6 minutes. And when you do come up to the podium, we request that you identify yourself by name and address for the record. We may ask questions of staff, of you, of the applicant, so don't be surprised. And any information that you share, photos or whatever, we retain as part of the record. If what you have is just digital on a device, we can put it under the camera, and we just ask after the meeting if you would send a copy of it to staff. Once we get through all of that, I'll ask the board for a motion, and once the motion is made and the floor is closed, we might discuss amongst ourselves first. At that point, the floor is closed. During voting, board members who do not vote yes or no are presumed to have voted yes. And finally, if you're a person aggrieved by a decision of this board, you have the right to appeal to the county commission, and there's a process for that. And after the meeting, staff can help you with that process. So having said that, number 1, please.
Good evening, Angela Gates. Item number 1 was continued from the April hearing. So it is a request for a fence height variance from 6.5 feet to 8 feet in the R1AA Single Family Dwelling District in the Estates at Aloma Woods Phase 2 subdivision located at 5729 Oak Lake Trail. The existing 90 linear feet of 8-foot tall privacy fence is 1.5 feet over the maximum allowable height. The Estates at Aloma Woods Homeowners Association approved the privacy fence. 1 letter of support was received from the property owners directly behind where the variance is being sought. A building permit 24-16748 has been submitted, and should the Board of Adjustment approve the variance, the permit can be approved. The request is for a variance to section 30.14.19 of the Seminole County Land Development Code, and there have not been any prior variances for the subject property. And this concludes my presentation.
Ms. Gates, you mentioned there was 1 letter of support from the rear neighbor. That's not in our packet. Do you have a copy? Or?
Since this was continued, I believe we got the letter of support. I do have a copy of it. Since this was continued from last month and the letter was submitted late after the agenda was printed and it was continued, I don't think it got...
Or if you just tell us what the address, I mean, is it just kind of one of those things, we approve them, there's nothing beyond that?
It's the, from the neighbors directly behind them, located at 5532 White Heron Place.
Gotcha. Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, any other questions for staff? All right, thank you, ma'am. Is the applicant here? Okay.
Are they not here again?
The chair would entertain a motion to continue this towards the end of the meeting.
Mr. Chair,
Sir,
make a motion to continue this item till the end of the meeting.
do we have a second?
Second.
Any opposition? So moved. We will come back to this. Let me make a note, and then we'll move on to number 2. All right, number 2 then.
Item number 2 is a request for, 1, a roof height variance from 12 feet to 14.5 feet, and 2, a setback variance from 30 feet to 17 feet for an existing storage shed in the R1 AAA Single Family Dwelling District in the Wilson Place unrecorded plat subdivision located at 411 Kentwood Avenue. The existing shed is 135.8 square feet and encroaches 13 feet into the required rear yard setback. A code enforcement violation, 23224, was issued for the structure resulting in the necessity of this variance. The property owner has applied for a building permit, 248765, but will require the approval of both variances before a permit can be approved by zoning. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, any questions for staff? Is the applicant here? Would you mind coming down? We might have a few questions for you, please. And whomever is going to speak, if you'd come to the podium, please, and share with us your name and mailing address, or street address.
411 Kentwood Ave, Sanford, Florida.
And your name, please, ma'am?
Jill Kelly.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we ask questions, anything you'd like to add to what staff had said?
I mean, it's been there 25 years. I've been there 8. So I didn't build it. You know, it's just one of those things you get pinged on, and now I have to deal with it.
That answers one of my questions when you bought the place 8 years ago. There we go. Gentlemen, do you all have any questions? All right. Have you chatted with your neighbors about this?
Yes.
Okay, what are their thoughts?
Do you want to know?
Yes, I do.
Here's one of them right here.
Well, we'll get to that. Okay. But you've reached out to your neighbors and chatted with them?
Yeah, nobody cares.
That's what I wanted to
In
do.
a nutshell, no one cares. Been there since all of them have been there. It's a lot of them that aren't here think it's government overreach, that I even got pinged on it when the prior owners put a roof on. Nothing happened.
But see, then we all got to meet, so.
Nothing happened then.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your time. Appreciate it. Last chance. Any questions? All right. Normally what I say, anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter, and I think we have someone, so please, sir. If you'd share with us your name and address.
Here's my information on it. Yes, my name is Wayne Mohm. I live at 5311 Linwood Circle. My backyard is adjacent to Jill Kelly's property, and I look at this building every day. The building is very well kept. It has been there since I've been there. I've lived at this house for 19 years. The previous owners bought the house. The building was existing when they bought it. The previous owners had a roof put on, was inspected. Nothing was said about the building. What I don't understand is why is the county suddenly stepping up and saying, Jill, you've got to pay for a permit and get this put on the property. Seems to me it should be grandfathered in, given that it's at least 25 years old. It's been through every storm we've had for the past 25 years. And I think the county, on their graciousness, ought to say, we let this slip by 25-some years ago when the first builder of the house who built the building put it up and didn't get a permit for it at that time. Or did, and the permit's been lost. I don't know. But I have no issue with it. I look at it every day. It's well maintained, and I think you ought to allow the variance.
And just to answer a question you have, staff isn't authorized to kind of let something like that go. That's why we're here. And so we're your neighbors that we're chatting with about it.
I just have issue that when they came to inspect the roof that they had installed, why at this time, when this is probably the third roof that's been inspected, was it now brought up and not when the first time it was replaced?
It's a good question.
And, why was there not some leniency given to Ms. Kelly on this situation?
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else in the audience to speak in support of this matter?
May I ask a question to this gentleman?
Outside, please.
Who's relevant to the case? May I ask a question relevant to the case?
No, sir. Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Gentlemen, your pleasure.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve from Mr. Beagley, a second from the vice chair. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? There we go. This is taken care of. Enjoy. And hopefully you won't be bothered again. Number 3.
Item number 3 is a request for, 1, an accessory structure size variance from 840 square feet to 1,800 square feet, and 2, a height variance from 14 feet 8 inches to 17 feet 5 inches for a detached garage in the A1 Agricultural District in the Seminole Estates Unit 2 subdivision located at 772 Mallard Drive. The principal building has a living area of 1,680 square feet and is 14 feet in height, 14 feet 8 inches in height, excuse me. The proposed attached garage will be 1,800 square feet and be for personal use only. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? Seeing none. Is the applicant here? Hi there. Anything you would like to add to what staff had shared? Okay. Seeing none, is there anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Is there anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none, gentlemen?
Move to approve.
All right, Mr. Levant's moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second from the vice chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, enjoy. Number 4, please.
Item number 4 was a request for, 1, a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 10 feet, and 2, an accessory structure size variance from 610 square feet to 880 square feet for a shed in the R1A Single Family Dwelling District in the Lake Sylvan Estates subdivision located at 7340 Lake Drive. The proposed storage shed will be 880 square feet and will encroach 20 feet into the required rear yard setback, and will be for personal use only. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property. However, a rear yard setback variance was approved for the property located at 7365 Lake Drive from 30 feet to 10 feet for a 720 square foot shed, and a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 15 feet for a 1,800 square foot detached garage at 7261 Lake Drive. And this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff?
I guess you want to see that?
Madam Clerk, someone's reading my mind. Can we see an aerial of this, please?
Yes.
Just because, okay, good, so it's still vacant to the east there. That was going to be my question. Perfect. No questions for
See if
staff,
there's
gentlemen?
another one.
Is the applicant here? Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to add on to what staff had said? All right. Is there anyone in the audience to support this application? Seeing none, anyone in the audience in opposition to this matter? Seeing none, gentlemen?
Move to approve, Mr. Chair.
Motion approved from Mr. Beagley. Any second?
Second.
Yeah, second from Mr. Levant first there. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, enjoy. Number 5, we're boogieing. Good.
Kiss it down.
For the moment, we are.
Kiss it down.
Every time.
Sorry, order pizza now.
Stop.
All right, number 5.
I believe after discussion at the dais,
Oh,
this
that's
one's
right,
being
that's right.
continued.
Thank you. I've got a note right in front of me here. Gentlemen, the applicant cannot make it. The chair would entertain a motion to continue to a date certain.
Move to approve. Move to.
Move to
Go
move.
ahead and move, yeah, move to move. Until the,
To a date certain?
yeah, I mean, I understand the circumstances, so yeah.
We eventually got to a motion from Mr. Beagley. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second, Mr. Chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we'll come back to this. Wait, we didn't determine the date certain. Next meeting?
Well, yeah, I was going to say,
Next
that-
meeting?
yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that's June 23rd. So, yeah, let's amend the motion to include the June meeting.
Move to the June 23rd meeting for it.
Agreed.
By acclamation, so amended. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Number 6.
Thank you, Robert.
Good evening, Megan Zanorski, Project Coordinator for Planning. This variance request is for 2581 Bird Avenue, which is located in the R1 zoning district within the platted subdivision of Stevens addition to Midway. The applicant is seeking, 1, a front yard setback from 25 feet to 4 feet for a fence, and 2, two double driveway gates, and 2, a height variance from 6 1/2 feet to 7 feet for 2 double architectural driveway gates. The proposed fence is 6 feet tall, open picket aluminum with at least 50% open space, with 2 complementary double architectural driveway gates, which will match the fence height and then curve to a peak height of 7 feet above grade at maximum height. The proposed fence is 4 1/2 feet from the sidewalk and 18 feet from the edge of pavement. The proposed privacy fence is 4 1, I already said that. I apologize. Traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence or gates as it relates to site visibility. That concludes my presentation. I am available for additional questions.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? Seeing none, is our applicant here?
Yes.
Anything you'd like to add, sir, to what staff said?
No, sir.
All right. Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the floor. Gentlemen, your preference.
Move to approve.
Second.
Move to approve from the vice chair, second from Mr. Beagley. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, there's one down. Next one, please.
This variance is request for 2591 Bird Avenue. This fence line will run in line with the previous variance request. This variance is located in the R1 zoning district in the platted Stevens addition to Midway subdivision. The applicant is seeking a front yard setback variance from 25 feet to 4 feet for a fence and driveway gates. The subject property is a corner lot and as such is considered to have 2 front yards for setback purposes. The front of the house faces Bird, which is where the variance is being sought, and Granby Street side does not require a variance. The proposed 6 feet tall chain link fence is 11 feet from the edge of sidewalk and 18 feet from the edge of pavement, and traffic engineering has no objection to the placement of the fence as it relates to site visibility. The subject property has had no prior variances. That concludes my presentation, and I am available for additional questions.
In my packet, I didn't get for this property the variance criteria questionnaire. Is it just because they're neighbors, the applicant used one for both of them, or did y'all get the questionnaire for this one? It's not a big deal, but,
I did not, Mr. Chair.
all right.
Oh, wait, yes, I did.
All right, just mine then. That's
Yeah.
fine. I'm not going to worry about it then.
So 133.
All right, do y'all have any questions for staff? Seeing none?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I do have a
Yes, sir,
question.
go ahead.
Sorry, trying to get back to the picture.
Scroll, scroll, scroll.
So there's 3 gates. One off of,
This is for staff?
yes,
Okay.
Granby Street. Is there any concerns about the fact that it's not the primary access point, that it's secondary to the side lot?
There's a drainage ditch, there's a swale on that side, and I did speak to our development review engineering team, and because of that drainage ditch and speaking with the applicant, it's going to be used for access for mowing and that kind of, and for septic maintenance, not necessarily for access. Since they have the double gates on the front, it's more for a maintenance access point, because they can't get through the side
Okay.
easily.
No, that's fine. Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions for staff? Sir, is this one yours too?
It is.
Anything you'd like to add on this one?
No, sir. Well, I will say.
Well, if you do, I'm sorry, we have to ask you. I'm sorry. If you just please share with us your name and address.
My name is Timothy D. Hudson Sr. I was born in this building here in 1961 and raised in Midway at 2591 on that corner. My mom and dad lived there for 65 years, and we were able to build next door here for them because my grandmother owned all of this property and some of the property here. So they lived here for 65 years, raised us there. I'm a general contractor, and I built this house, I think, in 2003, right before he died, August 17th. He wasn't able to get in the new house, but my mom is there enjoying herself. So I need to put gates up to ensure that those kids, when they're walking on the sidewalks, they always cut through the yard and run, and we don't want them to get injured, because if they fall by cutting through my mother's, who's 82, cutting through her property, they're gonna sue us. So that's why I need gates there to secure her. And 2581. So we own 2591 and 2581. So we just want to put the gates up there to keep the traffic out on the sidewalk so that she can enjoy her latter years.
And you're a good son. You're to be praised. Now, and I apologize for being picky. We're on 91, the one that where you grew up.
Yeah.
And that's the one we're talking about now. The other one where your mama is, that's been approved.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Anything particular to this parcel that we need to chat about?
The only thing we want to do, it's a 55, I'm 64, so help me with my degree is in public administration, not math. So I'm 64, and that fence is 55 years old. All of this here is 55 years old, so I think I was about 6 or 7 when my daddy put it up. And it's all dilapidated, and I told my mom, hey, look, if it is a problem, I'll just paint it black, but we need to take it off and put new chain link fence up there to make it look right. So that's what we want to do, it's already there, it's a chain link fence there. We're gonna take that down, and I'll have some of the people in the community, I'll give it to them, roll it up, haul it away so they can go weigh it off and get money for it or whatever, you know what I mean?
Good old aluminum, yeah.
Yeah, that's money for the community to help people out, because you got to deal with the people in what they call them, the people in grassroots, you got to still deal with them. But I'm going to take all of that fence there, give it to them, and I'm going to put new fence around 2591.
Gotcha.
If you guys approve us. But that fence that's there now, it's been there 55 years. And you gotta have some type of boundary security. And my mom is 82, be 83 in November, so I want her to be comfortable, and when she sleeps at night, want her to rest in peace.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, y'all have any questions for Mr. Hudson? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Anyone here to speak in opposition? Gentlemen?
I move to approve, Mr. Chair.
All right, Mr. Beagley has moved to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Levant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, best of luck with it, sir.
Thank you very much.
What's next? Whose turn is it now? For Francis Drive.
Yes, thank you, Mary Robinson, for the record. This is for a variance for 230 Francis Drive in Altamont Springs. It's a request for a fence height variance from 6.5 feet to 8 feet in the R1A Single Family Zoning District. The subject property is in unincorporated Seminole County and adjacent to the city limits of Altamont Springs. The proposed privacy fence is going to be 8 feet tall and 200 feet in length. The Land Development Code limits residential fences to 6.5 feet on the side and rear and 4 feet in the front yard. The property does not have any prior variances, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions?
Yeah, Mary, quick question for you, and this might be for the owner. We have not heard anything back from neighbors on this, dare I ask, because I read the criteria questionnaire. Have you heard anything?
I have not, no,
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is the applicant here? Ma'am, is there anything you'd like to share other than what staff has said?
I have something.
Go-
I'm sorry, I'm going to be that guy.
We do have a question. If you could come on down, please. Choose between the two of you.
Take your time.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, but if you could please share with us your name and address.
We don't speak good English, but we tried our best.
We have translators.
Right? All right. Yes.
Yes, sir. If you just give me your name and address, please, sir.
I'm sorry?
Your name and address, please.
My name is Victor Rivera, but that's under her name, Maria F. Vargas.
All right, and your address?
230 Francis Drive, in Altamont Spring.
Thank you. Your question, sir?
So I read the questionnaire, and it looked like it was more of a law enforcement issue than it was a, we have to find out why, when we do questions, of course, with the board, we have to find out, why is this a hardship? How does this come on a hardship with you? Like, oh, I bought the land and I knew the fence was there. The fence, didn't have a permit before, I bought into the problem. With this is something a little bit different. Looks like two neighbors that are not getting along right now, and that's fine, that's not the board's business, but I'm having a hard time finding the hardship other than this is a neighbor squall. And just trying to stay true to what Seminole County Code is and why we are up here. I'm having a hard time getting to that point. I was just hoping you could, other than the 8 foot, is that what it is? Is just because it's a neighbor, and I don't want to get into the issues, but is that what this is? Is just a neighborhood squall of they're coming on your property, whatever, I read what you said. Is that what this is?
Yeah, that's part of the issue, the neighbors, but also that's what we want for the privacy too, because we have a pool area, like real close to, and sometimes those neighbors watching our daughters when they are in the pool, we want to, prevent that. And the neighbor right behind us, they have 8 foot tall fence too.
And I'll ask staff about that next. Thank you for bringing that up. It's just, like I said, I'm trying to stay true to what the code is. It seems like this is a law enforcement issue with either someone looking into your privacy or whether it's a neighborhood battle or whatever, a neighbor battle. But, okay, I was just trying to find out what the reason was, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
Real quick, gentlemen, any other questions? All right, thank you. While you want to then ask a
Question for staff
Yeah.
is that 8 foot that they were mentioning, Mary, do you have any information on?
No, sir, I don't. I did not find any other variances approved in that area.
Okay, thank you, Mary.
All right. Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Seeing none, anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none, on this one, we're going to close the floor. I'll ask for a motion, but then let's chat for a minute.
I would like to.
So,
please,
Motion to approve.
motion approved from the vice chair. Is there a second? For conversation purposes.
Second.
Second from Mr. Levant. Mr. Bigley, share your thoughts, because I think you brought up something I hadn't thought of, and just to hear
So,
you say a bit more on
following
that.
code is demonstrating a hardship to the homeowner. And a law enforcement issue, and I'm not going to get into the details, like I said, it's not a place for this, is I'm just struggling to get to that point of someone looking over a fence or, or they climb over our fence, which was, was mentioned in the criteria and the answers. And it's for the other ones that we have denied because it's been vinyl or it's become others. This is not getting to that, it's not rising to that point, in my opinion, of what the true hardship is. They didn't buy into this. This is a neighborhood, unfortunately, it's a neighbor squall between two people. It's unfortunate, Mr. Chair. But just trying to follow the code and kind of trying to demonstrate the hardship.
Well, I think you make a good point, because while, nothing is, one matter is never a precedent for another matter.
Right.
When we do something, I remember last month, we were having conversations while sitting up here about, well, should we grant a variance to correct a contractor error? And I think we generally agreed that didn't rise to the
Correct.
level of that. So I think that's a good point, and I'm happy to hear, if the other two you guys have something you want to share? Don't want to put you on the spot, but.
I generally agree that this may not rise to the level of hardship, especially because staff has stated that they didn't find any other variants in the area. So approving this motion may give rise to subverting the justice system of the two potential squabbles between neighbors.
But also bringing up possible future business if they see that this does get approved, Mr. Chair, of knowing that this is, well, I want an 8-foot because I don't get along with my neighbor.
Good point.
And it's setting a bad precedent, in my opinion.
Eric, anything you want to add?
I'm not struggling with the way the other gentlemen are. I mean, I don't want to get into the definition of a hardship, but, living in an area where you're having an issue, regardless of whether it's a neighbor or whether it's a dog or whether it's I don't think it matters, in my opinion. I mean, I think I don't see where this is causing unreasonable harm to anybody else by the approval of it, so.
And I do apologize as well, too, and I'm sorry that the homeowners are going through that. I really am. It doesn't, but I hope that if it rises to, in their idea of what law enforcement needs to be involved in, that I'm hoping that they can rectify that from a legal point of view.
Unless there's something else you all want to add, let's go ahead and call the question. So what's before us is a motion to approve it. Those in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to vote. Those opposed?
Nay.
No.
Nay.
So that motion fails. Is there another motion?
I move to deny.
A motion to deny. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Levant is seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Passes, the motion passes 3-1. So the motion for the variance has not passed. You do have the option of appealing our decision to the county commission, and if that's something you choose to do, either after the meeting or you can call them, the staff can help you with that process. All right, we wish you well. We're sorry you're going through this. Next matter.
Yeah, thank you. Item 9 is 331 Lake Mills Road is the location. It's a request for an area variance from the permitted 1,081 and a half square feet to 1,800 square feet for a detached accessory structure in the R1 Single Family Dwelling District. The subject property is located in the revised map of Chuliota subdivision, and it's a variance to section 30.7.3.1, paren 1 of the Seminole County Land Development Code. The proposed structure is to be 12 feet in height, and also the variances to accessory buildings and uses in the Land Development Code, which requires that accessory structures not exceed 50% of the principal building living area in terms of mass, size, and height. The existing principal building is 2,161 square feet. The accessory structure, like I said, is permitted at 1,080.5. The proposed structure is 1,800 square feet, approximately 720 square feet larger than what is permitted. There have not been any other variances for the subject property, and that concludes my presentation, and I'll answer any questions.
Gentlemen, any questions?
I have one.
Yes, sir.
So when did that code change? So it looks like this home was purchased in 2011. And following along, Mary, with your logic there and what you were saying was no more than 50% for the requirement for the primary dwelling. Am I tracking correctly?
Yes, the living area, not the
Living area,
gross
correct.
square footage.
Did something change between 2011 and now in 2025?
Yes, our land development code changed last
Okay.
year.
Which is now causing this to come before us.
Yes, and we're seeing more and more of these.
Tracking, thank you.
Ms. Robinson, is this in the rural area?
Chuliota, yes.
Okay, thought so. Thank you, ma'am.
I live there.
You live there?
Not rural.
What? No. Any other questions for staff, gentlemen? Is the applicant here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Anything you'd like to add to what staff had said?
If you don't mind.
Please, just share with us your name and address.
Sure. Matt Perkins, 331 Lake Mills Road. So I just wanted to point out that in 2022, a few years ago, we did some renovations to the house. When I bought it in 2011, it was 1,000 square feet, 1,007, so it's a little over 2,100 now. In the existing shop, our shed is, I think, just under 1,200 square feet or so. So at the time, it caught my eye as far as like to buy it because the shop was bigger than the house, which is, as a car guy, I thought that was cool. That's what I wanted. But in the recent history, 2022, we made it larger and we updated the house, renovated it, made it look good. The shop is from that original build date of 1978. So almost 50 years old. I've put a lot of work into maintenance, but again, it's a 50-year-old metal building. Starting to look a little dilapidated. So what the plan is to update it to make it look like the house, same color scheme, make it look better. And then the two, I don't want to say junk cars, project cars behind the shop, that added length is where they'll go to get out of my wife's eye, so we can park those inside. So really, it's just lengthening it to get those cars inside and making it match the house. But there was one thing I wanted to add, and Mary, what you'd said is the current structure is 12 feet, the proposed structure is 17. With the house being 18 feet, it doesn't exceed it. I just wanted to clarify that the new one's going to be taller, and I think I put that in the package.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Okay, just making sure. I know what you think of building another 12-foot building. It's getting taller, but not exceeding the home.
Appreciate that.
And that's it.
Anything else? Okay.
That's it. Thank
Gentlemen,
you.
any questions for the applicant? All right, thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none, gentlemen, your pleasure.
Motion to approve.
A motion to approve from the vice chair. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Mr. Levant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, good luck.
I do that every month. Knock this off.
What do we have for number 10 here?
Number 10 is a request for a rear yard setback variance from 30 feet to 20 feet for a single-family residence in the R1 single-family zoning district. It's Lot 21, Hawkins Avenue, located in the Lockhart subdivision. The applicant is proposing to construct an 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family dwelling. The dwelling will encroach 10 feet into the 30-foot rear yard setback. Like I said, the property is zoned R1, and that zoning district does require a minimum lot area of 8,400 square feet and a lot width of 70. This lot is non-conforming to those requirements as it is 51 feet by 151 square feet. So it is non-conforming to the zoning requirement, but it is a parcel of record, and the subdivision predated the subdivision regulations, and like I said, it's located in the Lockhart subdivision, which has been identified as a target area in the Seminole County Comprehensive Plan, and the purpose is to propose new housing opportunities and revitalize low-income neighborhoods. The request for the variance to Section 30.7.3.1 of the Land Development Code that states a rear yard setback for the zoning district is 30 feet. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property. That concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions? Seeing none. Is the applicant here? Is there anything you'd like to add to what staff shared, sir? All right. Y'all have any questions for the applicant? Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Yes, ma'am. Please come on down.
You said I'm on lot 22, I'm sorry.
Not a problem, not a problem. All right. Anyone else, second chance, anyone else in the audience in opposition? Seeing none. Gentlemen?
Move to approve.
We move to approve from Mr. Bigley. We have a second from the vice chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Now for some déjà vu.
Yes, this is Lot 22 of Hawkins Avenue. It's a request for a rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet for a single-family residence in the R1 zoning district. The subject property, again, is located in the Lockhart subdivision. The applicant is also proposing to construct an 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family dwelling. The proposed dwelling will encroach 10 feet into the 30-foot rear yard setback. And like I said in the previous case, this lot size is 51 by 100, 5,100 square feet, and is non-conforming to the minimum R1 area and width requirements. As I said, the subject property is a parcel of record. It's located in the Lockhart subdivision target area, which the Seminole County Comprehensive Plan directs target areas to allow for new housing opportunities and revitalization of neighborhoods. The request for is for a variance of 30.7.3.1 of the Land Development Code, which states a rear yard setback for the zoning district is 30 feet. There have been no prior variances granted on the subject property, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? Seeing none? Anything you'd like to add, sir?
I would like to hear the resident.
You're going to reserve the right to a rebuttal? I got you. Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Seeing none, anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Yes, ma'am. Now we go. And when you come on down, if you'd please, when you get to the podium, give us your name and address.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Johnny Mae Singleton, and I reside at 2850 West 22nd Street, Sanford. And I am not in agreement with my yard getting smaller for anything. That's just the way I feel about it. Now, in the years past, there was a house already there, so they didn't need my property then, so why should my property be shortened now?
Well, now, I may be confused. It wouldn't be the first time. You don't own this piece of property that we're talking about now, do you? Are you just a neighbor? I guess I don't understand
My
how.
property is, I was still a letter, okay.
I'm sorry, my name's Ernest Singleton, it's my mom.
Yes, sir.
The way she understood it was that she would lose part of her property for another, for something else to get built. That's the way she explained it to me.
Sure, and that's not happening, no. Staff can correct me if I'm on that.
Okay.
This is just within the four corners of the piece of property that we're talking about. This won't affect your property one bit.
So
I'm
totally misunderstood.
Thank you, you got good work.
And here's the thing, and if you find out that's different, you come chat with these ladies, because they're going to want to hear.
Sure.
Yeah, this is,
This lot, a reduction of the required setback.
It's still on the same lot. Yeah, it's not on your lot. It's on this property's lot, not on yours. You're not losing anything.
Thank you.
Misunderstood.
She's got good work.
but I'm glad you came down, because now we know for sure.
All right.
Yes, ma'am. Anyone else in the audience wanting to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, gentlemen, your pleasure.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. And number 12.
Thank you, Mary Robinson, for the record. This is Lot 10 on Strickland Avenue, as before, a vacant lot. A request, there's 3, for a variance to a rear yard setback from 30 feet to 20 feet. Number 2 is a side yard setback on the north side from 7.5 feet to 7 feet. Number 3 is a south side yard setback from 7.5 feet to 7 feet in the R1 Single Family Dwelling District. And again, this property is in the Lockhart subdivision. The request, again, is to construct an 1,800 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. As stated, the proposed dwelling will encroach 10 feet into the 30-foot rear yard setback and a half a foot into the north and south side yard setback. Again, the minimum zoning lot area for this zoning district is 8,400 square feet. This lot is 50 by 100, just 5,000 square feet, so it's non-conforming with regard to the minimum lot area and width requirements of the R1 zoning district. It is a parcel of record located within the Lockhart subdivision target area, which is designated by the Seminole County Comp Plan to promote new housing opportunities. The request for variance to Section 30.7.3.1 of the Seminole County Land Development Code states that the rear yard setback for this district is 30 feet and the side yard setbacks are 7.5. There have not been any prior variances for the subject property, and that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff? No? And, sir, are you the applicant for this one also?
Yes.
Anything you'd like to share?
Not at this time.
All right, thank you then. Anyone else in the audience, let me take a step back. Anyone in the audience wanting to speak in support of this matter? Seeing none, anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Seeing none. Gentlemen,
Move to approve.
Mr. Levant has moved to approve. Do we have a second? Second from the vice chair. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. We talk about infill being a good thing. I think we got that. Good luck with the project, sir. All right, we have continued item number 1. And has that person shown up? The applicant for Oak Lake Trail here? Oh, okay, we'll get to you in a moment, but just want to make sure you're here.
She's already read everything, though. We've gone through it.
Do we need to go through it again as we're reconsidering?
No, I don't think staff, we need to make staff go through that again. I think
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all feel like this is in your memory? You're on top of it? Okay. All right, sir. So the staff had previously read into the record the facts pertaining to this. Is there anything about it you'd like to, well, come on down. Share with us your thoughts. We might have some questions.
And I did. So,
I do too.
Well,
If you share with us, please, your name and address, sir.
yeah, my name is Jonathan Mosquera. I'm in representation of Deborah White. The address is 5729 Oak Lake Trail, Oviedo, Florida 32765. She's looking for a fence 8 feet tall on the backyard of her property. When she bought the property, the property had a 12-foot fence. And the last hurricane destroyed the fence, so she just want to replace the fence. The neighbors have 8 foot tall, so she want to go with the same tall as them. So she considered that this is not a privilege, like extra privilege, is just go back as what she was before the hurricane. Yep.
Gotcha. And I apologize, sir. You might have said this when you started, and I just missed it. Are you
yeah.
a contractor, or?
I work for the first fence company that is
Gotcha.
doing this job, and she asked me to come to explain this.
Gotcha. Thank you. I'm sorry I missed that. Mr. Beagley.
first of all, from a contractor point of view, thank you for being here. I wish a lot of people would, kind of don't. And I'm glad you represent that way, and I appreciate you make sure the facts get out there. It's kind of the same thing that I had before, was talking about
Yeah.
the 12 feet, 8 feet, et cetera. I'm going to get to that staff question next, so it's coming to Angie next. That 12 foot, to see if was that approved, and we'll take that up with staff. But 8 feet, 12 feet's really high. 8 feet's really high. Is there an elevation change on the property is this house that's behind them on an elevation plat where it's actually where it's higher?
No, if they install 6 feet, the neighbor's fence will be 8, and she will be 6.
Okay, and where's the hardship with that?
It's supposed to be the same kind of fence.
Why?
And there's no specific reason. They just want to have the same as they used to have before the hurricane, and they want to match the houses to have a good look.
So, in tune to what I had said with the previous,
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's something that we have to hear, a hardship.
No, there's no hardship. No,
Okay.
no. It's
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Anyone to speak in opposition to this matter? Seeing none, is there a motion?
I had a question for staff about that 12 foot.
Please.
Kind of redundant right now, but the 12 foot, is there anything, hi Angie.
Hi.
Is there anything that was on the record that you can find for a 12-foot fence in that
No,
property?
it's the hedge. It was just the hedge.
Oh, it's a hedge.
Well, there's a fence there, there's
There is
no
a
doubt,
fence.
but the 12 feet is coming from the rest of it as a hedge. There's a picture in here. And the previous fence that was approved
Yes.
was on the site plan, it was for a 6-foot wood fence,
Yes.
and it did not include the rear.
Did not?
It did not include the rear, and the surveyor shows a 6-foot fence in the rear. Just.
Okay, that's another day.
That would have been good to have in the application.
Yes, probably.
Gotcha. Does that lead to a motion?
I move to deny.
We have a motion to deny. Is there a second?
Second.
A second from Mr. Levant. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
As I told the other people, this one has been denied. Should your client, you can pass on to her if she'd like to appeal to the county commission. Staff can help with that. Just call into the county planning department, and they'll help. Moving on, gentlemen, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the last thing we have are the minutes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
We
ma'am.
have the one item, the pasture loop that
Yeah, she
was
just-
legally advertised but not on the agenda.
She just sent it out to your email, Mr. Chair.
That's right.
I got it.
Let me, pull up real quick here.
It's not gonna be on. But I'm gonna get to it.
Well, gentlemen, have you all had a chance to read this?
No, it was
Is
sent.
the applicant aware of what we're talking about? Yeah. It wasn't in our packet, so we just kind of want to get up to speed. Would you mind terribly giving us just a minute or two? Sure. Like, for example, I'm not seeing it in mine. I haven't got an email yet.
Are you on your Mac?
No, there it is, I got it.
I was gonna say, I had to airdrop it to you.
Do not criticize the cult.
Hey, just trying to support the plan.
Do any of y'all need, and no hard feelings if you do, any of y'all need additional time to review this? There's no need to be rushed.
We're pulling up the last month's PowerPoint that has the item in it.
Good.
It looks like one of these peculiar land development, Mr. Chair.
It is an interesting
Yeah.
wedge-shaped thing.
It is.
Should we tell Mr. Ruiz about our standard, rules that we get to come use the pool too?
Okay.
Everyone ready? All right, now let's do it.
This item is 1814 Pasture Loop, and this is a request for a rear yard setback from 7.5 feet to 3 feet for a pool in the planned development subdivision, which is known as Bristol Park subdivision. This pool will be 11 by 30 feet. They have received a letter of support from the immediate neighbor to the south, and also for the board's consideration. Behind the property is a retention pond, and beyond that is a conservation easement. There have been no prior variances for this property, and this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, ma'am. Gentlemen, questions for staff?
Yeah, the overall, the drawing that we got here for the overall construction plans, Kathy, our square property land is not square in a circle hole, or was this something different that I'm just not reading into? Because I kind of...
Artist's rendering.
I mean,
It seems to be capturing just where the actual
address
residence
is on
is.
Pasture Loop, but the tax assessor's maps and the support and all that kind of stuff is for Orange Avenue.
Orange Ave,
Yeah. If we can you pull up the site plan on the PowerPoint?
We don't have it on the PowerPoint.
This is all.
Okay.
Or perhaps we could put it up on the screen and the applicant can point.
Jay's gonna help you out.
It's the answer, woman.
hardest working Seminole County staff right here.
You want to start something?
You started this. I told you, you cursed it.
What we have is a traditional rectangle platted lot.
Right.
Can we see the map of where it's located, though? Because I think what was emailed to us is incorrect. I think Mr. Beagley's point is spot on. Yeah, because, Austin, if we scroll down there to the packet, the map in there was just, I don't know, that's on the moon from this. Are you seeing this part down? Scroll down to that?
Yeah, if you go
Yes.
onto the property record.
You go down
part, it's
further,
correct.
property record, then yeah, something's not.
It was just a letter of support, graphic.
I think Ms. Hamel said it was the southerly neighbor.
Yes, it's the 1810, which is the immediate neighbor to the south. We received a letter of support.
Okay.
And located on the... We gotta call you up first.
Just a few more minutes of your patience, sorry. There's just a process we have to follow. There we go. Bingo. Any other questions for staff then?
I don't know what she's talking about.
No.
Are you squared away now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
Mr. Ruiz? Now is your chance to come share your thoughts. If just real quick for the record,
Yeah.
give us your name and address, please.
Anthony Ruiz, 1814 Pasture Loop. So I do have, as was mentioned, 2 adjacent neighbors, one to the south, one to the north. I did, prior to the application, get the south. I spoke to them prior to submitting the application. I did go speak to the northern neighbors and got a letter of support as well.
Good, if you could give it to the clerk, please. Perfect.
And it's just to clarify, square pool. It's our lots are a rectangle square, rectangle. Pool will also be a rectangle fitting, in the back.
Gotcha. Gentlemen, questions for Mr. Ruiz?
Is it just because of the unique condition is kind of what said it? Because
Yeah.
of I noticed the lot is a little wonky with is it, once again, I'm kind of going down that hardship route again.
When you say wonky with the lot, what are you referring to?
When you bought it in with the setback, were you just not aware of what the setback was?
Yeah, so everything was, it's a planned development, and so everything, the structural permits, everything was already established, so I didn't have the ability to go in and make any changes.
Okay.
So they picked the elevation, which I guess influenced the front setback.
Okay.
So it pushed it further back on the lot. And so, so we couldn't make any changes to accommodate that.
Thank you.
Any other questions, gentlemen? Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Well, I was going to also say, I know, so other neighbors, so back to the adjacent neighbors, 2 neighbors, two neighbors away, I guess, 2 houses away. Also, I don't think this was mentioned, but had also applied for variances as well, and they were approved. Similar variances, they had the same floor plan. They did a variance request for for the cage to go from 5 feet to 2 feet, and they had a pool variance request from 7.5 to 5 feet. And so I was trying to be reasonable, keep in mind safety, being able to walk on the back, and so that's why I'm not doing any cage, and it's just going to be 3 feet off of that back property line. So I just wanted to also include that in there.
Okay. Gentlemen, any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank you.
Ms. Robinson, I've asked you a question based on something Mr. Ruiz had shared. And I may be catching you flat-footed on this, so I apologize. Behind him, that tract H, do we know who owns that?
It's a subdivision, it's the retention pond for the subdivision.
Oh, okay, that whole tract H is wet?
Yes.
Oh, wow, okay, thank you.
And I think she said there was a conservation easement even
Beyond that.
further beyond that.
That's that tract I guess.
So
whatever.
there's not developed
Gotcha.
property,
Gotcha.
or won't be developed with homes.
Gotcha. Very good, thank you. Anyone in the audience to speak in support of this matter? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Gentlemen?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Enjoy your pool, sir. We'll drop by when it's finished.
Please do.
All right, now that does leave the minutes. Chair will entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
A motion to approve, we have a second. We have a second from the vice chair. Those in favor?
All right.
Opposed? All right. Move to adjourn?
So made.
So moved? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Whatever was in there.